Hello and welcome to the Nation Jendela, a window into the future, that is the Jendela. Now, the increase in internet traffic and demand for seamless connectivity tells us that the new digital norm is here to stay. The Jalinan Digital Negara, or better known as Jendela, is addressing just that need. It is the National Digital Infrastructure Plan driven by MCMC, government agencies and major industry players. The aim is to ensure every Malaysian has quality internet connectivity, and Maxis has been committed to just that Jendela agenda. Joining me today is the CEO of Maxis, Gokhan. Thank you very much for joining me today, and welcome to our studios. I believe this is your first time.
Thank you very much, Jessie. Thanks for your invitation. First of all, this is one of the areas that we're really passionate about at Maxis, so it's a pleasure to be here today.
That's right. It is a huge, mega plan to modernize our nation's mobile networks, and for that, it will really need, the all big three telcos, for example, or rather the bigger players within the service provider sector to come together and work together in ensuring that the Jendela plan is rolled out successfully. Let's begin at the beginning, as they say, and perhaps we can first establish what is Maxis's role in Jendela.
Sure. Before we talk about Maxis's role, I would like to give you a quick overview of what Jendela means for us. As you know, it all started with March 18 as we commemorated the 1-year anniversary of the MCO. With the lockdown of the whole country, definitely things have changed. The way we live, the way we do business have changed. And this had a dramatic impact on our networks. And all of us realized how dependent we are on the connectivity, especially the internet connectivity provided by service providers like us. And this actually changed the way we consume internet and the amount of internet that is consumed. For example, our customers at the end of 2020 are using 20 gigabytes per month per user, which is 38% higher than last year. So 40% increase in 12 months, which is a very big increase. This increase actually led to industry led by our regulator MCMC to sit down and to replan for future. As you would remember, we had an NFCP, National Fiberization Plan, that we were working on together as the industry and ministry and our regulator. Back in August, we sat down, we came around the table, all the operators, and we looked at the needs of the nation over the next 5 years based on what happened because of COVID-19 and pandemic. And this really changed the way we looked at the NFCP plans, and we really made dramatic changes in terms of the quality of service requirements as well as the coverage requirements because of changing dynamics, how we were moving home, how the need for connectivity, not just in workplace, but in homes, in residential areas, especially even in rural areas, increased. That was a really interesting effort, all industry coming together. All of us who are known to be fierce competitors, but still being at the same table. And
exactly,
really,
because outward looking in, it does seem that way. It's like, how are these three major service providers coming together? Because I think a moment to quite celebrate as well is that all three telcos have just concluded an agreement to jointly develop and share fiber infrastructure so as to avoid duplication and so on and so forth.
Yes, contrary to common belief, and despite we compete fiercely, at the same time we collaborate a lot. And what you just said is just one of the collaboration areas that we're taking it one step further. Coming back to the role of Maxis in Jendela, first of all, within these 4-week marathon of discussions, of course we have done our part in terms of the design of the new plan, Jendela, as well as we are trying to do our part in terms of implementation of the plan, which comes in 2 phases. And our implementation plan includes, interesting enough, Maxis in a unique position and a unique role, because we're both serving the mobile ambitions, at the same time the fixed ambitions. And we are the only operator that is investing in both. We are upgrading our mobile network based on the new capacity requirements. We are adding new city and coverage sites, as well as we're building new home fiber connectivity, and we're trying to do our part for this common ambition for the future of Malaysia.
It is a 21 billion ringgit plan, and of course I would, as I've called it before, a mega plan as well, launched last August from 3G, or rather in a sunset 3G phase, to empower 4G or strengthen 4G for what it is now, and then later on build a 5G foundation, a strong foundation. Looking at phase 1 is the phase that the program or the plan is in right now. What has been Maxis's progress so far?
Sure. You captured it right. It is a mega plan, and for example the 4G ambitions goes all the way up to 96.9% coverage across the country, as well as 2.5 million new homes connected with fiber. And we have completed 2020 in our journey for the first phase of this program. As Maxis, we are on target. We have completed 100% of our own targets. To be exact, we have 150 new 4G base stations that we have started operations. 5,500 base stations upgraded in order to cope with the increased demand, as well as 6,500 new homes fiber passed. And these were our targets, and we are at the 100% achievement level at the end of 2020 as of December 31st.
Is that the halfway point, or is there a lot more to go?
It will accelerate. It will accelerate in 2021. We will continue to invest just as a benchmark. In 2020,
I'm going to hold you on that thought, Gokhan, because I've also got, the rest of my colleagues in the studio telling me it is time to go for a quick break. Lots to talk about right here with regards to Jendela and Maxis's commitment towards realizing this national plan as well. We'll be right back after these messages. Stay with us.
Yati is a housewife in Kuala Lumpur. Having lived here for a long time, she misses her mother's nasi kuning. Can Yati use the latest smartphone and fast internet access to call her mother, who is in a remote area in Sabah? Introducing Jendela, a government initiative to improve Malaysia's communications infrastructure and broadband coverage. This move will reduce the digital divide and enable cities, suburbs and rural areas to receive better quality broadband services. Jendela will be rolled out in phases. The 3G network will be gradually terminated as the 4G network is expanded to give Malaysians access to high-speed mobile lines throughout the country. Additionally, all fiber service providers will continue to lend their support by upgrading their network capacity and deploying more base stations to meet the increase in 4G and 5G traffic. This will pave the way for future technology adoptions such as wireless and fixed wireless access, VoLTE, and 5G to achieve the country's digital agenda. Thanks to improved infrastructure through Jendela and by upgrading to a 4G smartphone, Yati is able to speak to her mother without any interruption. This digital transformation will raise the people's economic status and advance the country's socio-economic progress.
Welcome back to the Nation Jendela. You're with me, Jessie Chahel, and I'm joined by the CEO of Maxis, Gokhan, and we're talking about the National Digital Infrastructure Plan, Jendela. Of course, you probably would have heard this and of course read about it as well. It is a national mega plan being rolled out in phases to ensure more digital connectivity, as well as with a main objective to modernize our nation's mobile networks. A lot on the plate, a tall order, I'm sure, within itself as well, challenging as it must be. But just before the break, I had to stop you there, but let's perhaps go back to that point.
Sure. I wanted to tell you about our plans for 2021. They will be as intense as 2020. Back in 2020, we have done 1,250 million ringgit of capital expenditures for total Maxis, and most of it went to our network upgrades. And this was even higher than 2019, around 3%. So we will continue to invest in our own commercial capex, as we call it, capital expenditures, into upgrading the 4G network that we have, covering new coverage areas for 4G in the zone 1 and 2 in more urban areas.
But why is 4G still going to be crucial, knowing that of course the end goal is a wonderful 5G plan and infrastructure that is solid? Why is 4G still going to be crucial, and what are some of the plans to really kind of continue that sort of line of service?
5G is the end goal, but 5G will take time to be rolled out and to be adapted by all the Malaysians, and we still have at least another 10 years that we will have to continue our connectivity as a nation with 4G. That's why we are continuing to invest, and this investment will not only be through our commercial investments in urban areas, but at the same time it will be in rural areas, especially in 2021. This is one of the areas that we will accelerate behind USP investments in the rural. And coming back to our discussion around cooperation among operators, this will be another area that you will see us operators cooperating, taking certain regions among ourselves, sharing regions and building network in those regions, at the same time sharing the network, opening up the network to others in the regions that we have built. So this will be one more area. And as for Maxis, we will accelerate our fiber connectivity in 2021.
While we say hello to what's ahead, we do have to bid goodbye to what's behind or obsolete, and that is of course in due time 3G. We are in a phase right now called the 3G sunset. And so the retirement of the 3G networks, that's also part of the plan actually in phase 1, and that will also be taken undertaken by all telco providers.
Yes, we call it sunset. It's at first seems like a negative event, but actually I'm excited. I'm excited at the prospect of 3G being shut down in our country, because we have a great 4G network as Maxis and as all operators. So I see this as a great move, taking our customers, taking our individuals in Malaysia that are using an old technology onto 4G technology, which is
And how will
great.
Maxis sort of put them on that float to take them across on that wave?
Sure, we have a plan. We have a plan that we're progressing quite fast actually towards the end of the year. It's a plan that includes not only technical readiness, we have completed our own technical readiness in terms of finalizing the coverage gaps in 4G, as well as making sure that VoLTE, which is a new technology that we started last year, voice over LTE, is adopted by most of our customers. The second readiness is the readiness of our customers in terms of the handsets that they have. Many of our customers who are on 3G now are on 3G because of the old handsets that they're using. So we have a plan also to help them to move to 4G enabled and VoLTE enabled handsets, which we started already many great campaigns, device campaigns as we call it, smartphone campaigns, which we will see even more in the coming days.
That's right. So a lot to look forward to, of course, with the rollout of the National Digital Plan, or Jalinan Digital Negara, better known as Jendela. There's much to look forward to in the near future. I always like to say the future is already here. We always look at it as if it's, a phase away or something on the horizon, but it is here and we are living it as we speak. So no doubt, as towards a point you made earlier, 2020 was a difficult and challenging year for organizations, for businesses, what more for SMEs as well. And so I think I'd like to really highlight now that SMEs are such an important contributor to the GDP. They are an important player in terms of how the country moves forward as well in terms of digital technical spaces. How is Maxis supporting SMEs and businesses in general in terms of that transformation from brick and mortar into a digital entity?
Sure. Not only SMEs are crucial for Malaysian economy because of sheer size of the number of SMEs in the country, as well as it's important for Maxis because one of our objectives, which we call our purpose, reason for being for our brand, is to enable the individuals and companies in Malaysia to always be ahead. So we see it our responsibility to help the SMEs to be ahead by utilizing technology. It starts for us with understanding their needs. We've been doing a lot of studies around SMEs and their needs, and especially their changing needs because of COVID. And we have been supporting our government's ambition to help the SMEs. For example, the SME grant, in order for them to utilize technology more. Maxis last year, together with MDEC, become a TSP, technology solution provider, which means that we are actually helping SMEs not only to choose, we have a portfolio of digital services, 17 to be exact, not only choose them, but at the same time qualify for government grant all the way up to 5,000 ringgit that if an SME is qualified can get this support. And we've been at the forefront of helping the SMEs, making it easy for them to use technology at the same time to do this with support from the government. The second area that we have is in terms of understanding our SMEs. We've been working with surveys around how digital the SMEs in Malaysia are, because we believe if you cannot measure it, you cannot really improve it. So one area that we're really passionate about is, as we call it, the digital readiness index of SMEs in Malaysia, so that we can really see the gaps and really offer solutions for them to increase this index and thus increase the digitalization of the SMEs in Malaysia.
That's right, Maxis walking the talk, really kind of, ensuring that the plan matches what is going on ground, and of course that to achieve results as well. And that's just, of course, the grand plan of Jendela to achieve quality internet connectivity. And in our discussion today, we're highlighting Maxis' commitment towards the Jendela agenda. It's time for a quick breather. We'll be back with more right here on The Nation Jendela.
Meili is a university student in Kuala Lumpur. She needs to visit her grandmother in her hometown next week. However, Meili has an exam scheduled at the same time. She plans to revise her lessons during the trip through online learning via video. Meili is worried about unstable internet access while traveling. Introducing Jendela, a government initiative to improve Malaysia's communications infrastructure and 4G coverage. This move will reduce the digital divide and enable cities, suburbs and rural areas to receive better quality broadband services. Jendela will be rolled out in phases. The 3G network will be gradually terminated as the 4G network is expanded to give Malaysians access to high-speed mobile lines throughout the country. With Jendela, people like Meili can enjoy uninterrupted online services all the way back to her hometown. This digital transformation will raise the people's economic status and advance the country's socio-economic progress.
Welcome back to The Nation Jendela. We are discussing, of course, Maxis in collaboration with Jendela or rather MCMC to realize the Jendela agenda. And joining me in our conversation today is the CEO of Maxis, Gokhan, and we've been talking a lot about the 3G transformation into 4G or perhaps a sunset, and then of course realizing the 5G dream as well, all with the greater plan to build a solid infrastructure that will of course enhance usage for businesses, individuals in the future as well. Let's take a look at moving forward in terms of accelerating digital economy. Of course, in the new norm, we cannot deny that, and as you've mentioned before, since last year we've seen such an acceleration as well. How has the role of telcos like Maxis, have you changed or have you adapted as well in a certain way?
To face the pandemic, because 2 years ago as an organization, as a company, we decided that we would like to transform our business. We don't just want to be a great mobile operator, but become, as we call it, converged solutions provider. And we have been on a journey since 2019 to not only provide great mobile and fixed converged connectivity, but on top of it to offer our customers solutions and services. That's why it's important when COVID-19, the pandemic came, we all realized that yes, we need great connectivity, but at the same time we need to be able to use great solutions in order to better our businesses and better our lives. So that puts us in a unique position, and we will continue with this vision for our own company of converged solutions provider, which in turn actually is all about helping the nation, helping the enterprises, helping SMEs and big corporations in Malaysia to really make changes and adapt to the changing environment after COVID.
And sort of, you know, to really reiterate that, what are some of the new opportunities beyond your core business, as you mentioned, in terms of services that will complement Jendela or that you're going to be introducing to the market sometime this year?
Sure. Historically, our core has always been mobile, but this new vision of converged solutions, first of all, fiber and fiber connectivity, home and premise connectivity is an area that we are investing a lot, and we will continue to invest, not only in terms of part of Jendela, the home passes that we're building, but at the same time new products that we are introducing, new ideas to this old industry, let's say. Ideas like Maxis Programmable Network, we just launched a couple of weeks ago, which is a new way of consuming internet, having fiber connectivity for corporations, a different way of doing this, or unit-based, usage-based internet. It's another new product, as we call it, that we introduced. On top of these, of course, starting with the enterprises, the collaboration solutions, the managed services, IoT, cloud is a big area that we are investing both in terms of capabilities that we built in our own company, but reaching out to our customers, starting with the big corporations, helping them with their move from on-premise to cloud, all their operations. So these are some of the interesting, new, exciting areas that we have been introducing for a while, and we will continue to introduce more exciting products.
As the CEO of Maxis and someone who's looking at things from a macro perspective, how far do you think we've come from a pre-COVID-19 situation to now, and what do you think really will motivate people to also adopt and be part of the Jendela plan?
We have proven, not just Maxis as an organization, but I think the whole Malaysia have proven that Malaysia is adaptable. COVID-19 was a big event, but we all started a new life, a new way to live and do business and get education. So Malaysians have shown that they're adaptable. What needs to happen now is, with the help of Jendela, we need to keep this agility, we need to keep this new ways of doing things, not at the same level, even take them to the next level. So I urge all Malaysians to be open for technology, to continue to use technology to better their lives, their schools, their businesses, and really ask for help if they need help in order to do that, companies like ourselves, because the possibilities are endless. What you can do with technology, the possibility is endless for Malaysia, but also as individuals living in Malaysia, all the Malaysians. So I urge all of us to use maximum of the technology, and if we don't know how to do it, just ask for help. I mean, we're here to help.
Fantastic. Being agile and of course adopting an approach towards technology that will be enabling for organizations, businesses and what more, individuals as well. That is the future. What would you say in terms of preparedness? Are we future ready as a nation together?
It's a journey. You can never be ready. It's a journey that continuously evolves. But as a nation, Malaysia has done a lot of investments in the past, which prepared Malaysia to be resilient in the face of COVID last year. But these investments need to continue. And as an organization, as Maxis, we are ready to continue to invest in Malaysia as we have done in the last 25 years. And we'll keep this readiness for future, to come in future.
Well, of course, building a 5G foundation, a solid infrastructure as part of the plan of Jendela, as well as ensuring quality internet connectivity. Telcos have collaborated, and Maxis, of course, committed to the Jendela agenda. Its target to provide fixed line connectivity for 7.5 million premises, expand 4G coverage to 96.9% of populated areas, increase the average speed of mobile broadband, and to drive the development of Malaysia's digital economy. 4 very important areas, but as I've said before, the future is here, and we're moving into a nation that is committed and has internet connectivity to take us to greater heights. Well, I'm Jessie Chahal. Thank you so much for joining me on The Nation Jendela. We've spoken at large. It's time to go out now and seize the day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
I'm Dr. Fadlullah Suhaimi Abdul Malik, Chairman of MCMC. For the latest on the National Digital Network Plan, watch The Nation Jendela every Thursday only on Bernama TV.